Aloha everybody, what is going on my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video we're going to be talking about the lack of updates this year in RuneScape, or at least the latter half of the year. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go!
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, this was basically touched on in the latest live stream by mod Osborne, and I don't expect, nor do I think he expects it to be an excuse for why there was any lack of updates, more so just an explanation so you can get an understanding of why things panned out the way they did. I don't expect you guys to like it, but at least you can understand it. So let's get started. Basically, mod Osborne boils it out to two main reasons why we've had a huge drought in the latter half of 2019 in terms of game updates. First off, they had no plan B in case something went wrong, which is a huge problem. Second of all, lots of changes were made to major updates or large updates that were planned for the end of the year, and you can see how having no backup plan would be a big problem if that went wrong. For example, the weapon diversity update, that got dropped out because it didn't feel right for the game. The decisions that they made for the different weapons didn't feel diverse enough. So in turn, it was actually good that they did a beta, because had they had launched it as it would have gotten a lot of negative response. So in that case, it just is what it is. Also, the Comp Cape rework, that became a much smaller update. There was a lot less content focus on it. It instead became a much smaller fix rather than, a large project with a whole new achievement listing, overhaul of the achievement system, etc. So that was far less grandiose than it was planned to be. Next up, the bank placeholders, which became a much larger update than it intended to be. So it did take a lot more time to get out and do it right, which personally I think was the right choice because, at least for the bank rework, it turned out to be a very good update, and I'm glad they took the extra time, they beta tested it, etc. So that was good. They also had a quest lined up that ended up getting delayed for one reason or another. It was basically to further the Carapact and Anachronia storyline. That's not to say that that got shelved or anything, it's still coming in the future, but it was actually planned for, this latter half of the year, but one thing or another happened and it got delayed. So despite all that, these kinds of problems tend to happen no matter what. These are, expected in the field. The only problem is, despite these problems, they didn't have any contingency updates or updates that could easily, be rolled out in case plans fall through. And that's something that they do plan on working forward on in terms of improvement with the way they handle the update schedule. A big way in which they're trying to tackle that is setting up these teams. They have 3 new teams. Internally, they're known as seats, and they are hyper-focused teams that are aimed at regularly producing certain types of content. For example, the 3 seats that we currently have are a quest seat, a reworks and remasters seat, and as of very recently, an Epic Jam seat that is planned to bring out those Epic Jam updates as fast as possible, the first one being the PVM hub. They do go on to say that in addition to this, they're going to have significant post-launch resources added to farming, herblore, and archaeology. Now that doesn't only mean fast-tracking bug fixes and other issues, but it also means providing additional content to keep these 3 skills lively long after launch. So that will be exciting, and hopefully that means, consistent updates all throughout next year. So since we have these seats, or these specialist teams, and they're working on content right now, us, the players, are going to start to feel the fruits of their labor at about February. That's when all their work is going to start to unravel. So right now we got 120 herblore and farming ranch out of time this month. Next month we got Christmas stuff. Outside of that event, I'm not too sure. I don't think we're going to have much in the way of content. But Christmas is generally kind of not that jam-packed with updates, usually, so I don't expect it much anyways. Then, the turn of the new year in January, we obviously have archaeology. It's going to be a big major update, so that's going to be a lot of things that are going to whet your appetite. Then, as I said, February comes around, then we're going to start to see these seats or specialist team content start to come in. Probably the PVM hub, Garden of War. That's just my speculation, I don't know, but that seems to be what they're implying. Anyways, as I said, I don't expect you to be happy with their explanation as to why there hasn't been any updates or a drought in the latter half of this year, but hopefully now you understand why they've messed up, how they plan to rectify that in the future, and at this point, actions are going to speak louder than words, so we're going to wait and see if they hold up on their end. Hopefully they do. Till then, let me know what you guys think about this. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet, you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.